As long as we've had Zoom, I don't understand why I need so many prompts before you actually get to recording.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'm still waiting for 1080p video chats to become the norm
Uh,
without it costing a oops, sorry cat. Without it just smacked her in the face with the keyboard. Without it being too costly because well, one, fiber is actually spreading pretty fast these days, and that's increasing the upstream bandwidth quite a bit for everyone because you can get whatever speed down up as well. So yeah, hopefully that'll be a thing. So that way, you can look uglier better.
it makes no difference to me if it's
uh,
720, whatever.
Well,
Doesn't.
it does to me. Quality, man, quality, production value, and stuff. Like even though we can't manage to be daily anymore, I still want it to look good. Damn it! So that way, when I say hello, everybody, welcome to the daily cup of genre, it looks good. This is the show where Manny and I get to talk about anything and everything we want in entertainment, geek, and pop culture. I'm the Kyle, that's the Manny, and yeah, hit the subscribe button if it's something you haven't done already, and if you have, thank you very, very much. We really do appreciate it. We have a lot of great content here, including other podcasts like Daily. This is Daily Cog, like Breaking Geek Radio and the Cantina, as well as reactions on AVR Squared and Genre Shot trailer reactions from time to time as well. I am joined by this cute little orange kitty cat, Kione, and she is getting orange hair all over my black shirt. Anyways, Manny, I haven't gotten to talk to you since a week ago, actually. A week ago,
Mhm.
where you moderated the AVR panel there at AX, man. We haven't gotten to hear your take on Anime Expo on the channel, so tell everyone what you thought.
Um, Honestly, it was fun. That's really, I think, what it really comes down to. I had a great time meeting you guys more than anything else. Um,
Well, thank you. It was fun to
because
meet you
that's
too.
because I'll be honest, if it wasn't for you guys actually being there, I wouldn't even flinch at not going to Anime Expo. It's just not my it's just really not my thing. It was great to enjoy the show for what it was more than having to necessarily work, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Um, I've done conventions now for, I mean, over a decade. Um, and I think I enjoyed more than anything was watching people really just be excited by the camaraderie and also some of the activations and booths and just having a good time. I will say though that um, my one critique of the whole thing is that Anime Expo really needs to do a better job at dispersing people a little bit better.
Hmm.
Other conventions like New York, I haven't been there. I've seen a lot of videos for it, like San
That
Diego, of
one's that
course.
one's too dispersed in my opinion. I've done New York twice. Once as press, once as just an attendee, and that one's too spread out. But yeah, I know I carry on.
Yeah, San Diego does a really good job at it. We'll see this year because they don't even have a
Yeah.
Hall H on Sunday. Um, it's it would be nice to see them consider the fan a little bit more because a lot of these people save their money all year, get expensive hotels,
Yeah.
especially for this event, and the way that they let people in, and then I mean every morning is chaos,
Yeah.
chaos.
Rough.
I really empathize with the person who pays that much money to go to the show to try and enjoy the content and the
Yeah.
camaraderie and everything, but you can't necessarily do it till about 11 because you're stuck somewhere in downtown LA because that's how long the line is to get in.
And yeah, to get in. Yeah. This was also the biggest year ever for AX. Over an estimated over 160,000, as well as uh some like close to 400,000 like tap ins, turnstiles, if you will. Uh, I agree that it was very hard to get in for, especially for regular attendees if you weren't disabled or if you didn't have a special badge like press or industry
Yeah.
guest type stuff, artists, exhibitors. If you didn't have that to take advantage of the priority entry, yeah, it was taking you a while to get in, and part of that was them also not just because they had several entrances even for regular attendees, but it was the way the limited doors they had open once you got beyond the security checkpoint and tapped in before entering in the actual building or going into, say, the exhibit hall or entertainment hall. They would try to funnel this massive crowd of thousands to like 2 or 3 doors. and I know they're trying to stop like stampedes inside the exhibit hall and entertainment hall, but at the same time you're causing issues in the waiting area as well. Other than the fact that there's just no shade downtown, there are going to be times where you're going to be stuck outside, and that's just going to suck. But I will say, I haven't done press for San Diego, but AX by far had better, like, I don't want to just say amenities, but better. It was a better experience for press than New York or GalaxyCon for myself. Not those were bad. That this was just good. Like, this was nice.
In what way? I'm curious.
Just the access points. There were multiple that made it easier for us to get in there. The walkway that we could use up on top. The relatively
the
easy
walkway.
access. Like all of that type of. Like I said, it's almost specific to this
To the
building.
venue? Yeah.
But they were, I mean, and also like I said, the access and people were just real chill with it. There wasn't a lot of confusion about what press could or couldn't do. But yeah. How's San Diego for that?
It's like San Diego has so many access points that it's
Yeah.
fine. Like, there's so many doors on both sides that you'll figure out a way to get in.
You don't have to leave unless you're going to a different building very much.
Yeah, basically. So that's not really a problem. Yeah, I mean, yeah, just it was the one thing that did surprise me is that unlike San Diego, and despite all of the people here at the show, the lines to do anything were pretty good. Like, nothing necessarily took too long. Heck, when I got there on Saturday, I was taking pictures with things, with booths and doing their stuff by 5 minutes in. So that was actually really surprising and really nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I think that's really my take on it. It was really fun to do.
What about the panel side of things? Moderating. That was your first time moderating a panel?
Yeah, it was my first time moderating a panel. It was a lot of fun, and once we got into it, it was business as usual. It didn't feel like anything that I was uncomfortable with, and you guys did a really good job at continuing on in the conversation and whatnot. And I think what I enjoyed the most out of it was really, I did not expect this. We had a few people come up to us afterwards thanking us for the information, and then kind of telling us a little bit more about why the information pertained to them. So that was nice. That was really nice.
Yeah, that the crowd reactions interaction was also my favorite. I enjoyed seeing people's faces react as we would mention different shows or movies that are beyond Dragon Ball and Pokemon. We mentioned some not necessarily deep cuts, but things where you got to be an anime fan to know, and seeing them kind of light up and be like, oh, they watched that one, oh, they like this one. That was really cool because it was like, oh, they're not posers.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, and thanks again for moderating it and kicking ass on it. you guys can actually catch the panel here in 4 parts on the Genreverse YouTube channel if you're listening on your favorite podcast app. Excuse me. Sorry. Be sure to head over to the YouTube channel and check out the panel. I guess I could theoretically put it up in an audio format. I'll think about it. Anyways, that's there, and so was our vlog. It's the first vlog I've ever done. Put that together. Did you get a chance to look at the vlog, Manny?
No, not yet. Yesterday I took almost like a cleansing day.
Zoom may be great for me
all day.
Oh, okay. I can respect that. Yeah, for anyone interested in checking it out, I broke it down by the days. Travel day, the first day where I call it badges and recon, because that's pretty much what we did. I even drew maps for Manny. They weren't necessarily necessary, but it was still like the thing that I did. Day 3 and day 2, press day and clean walkthrough was a lot of fun because Brian and I got to film the exhibit hall before opening. So the only people on the floor were the exhibitors and industry people and some press. And that was a lot of fun. I highly suggest that all conventions allow that, even if you have to set up certain times for press to come through, because it really does help give a clear shot of a lot of the nice things, and then you can come in with the crowd and really wow people about, you know, just how in depth and how big, and I think you get a better sense of scale with that. And then you get some clips of the last day, the panel, and it's mostly my family's travel side of things because no one else filmed theirs. Manny was just on a train. So, yeah, check all that out. I forgot, man, I am not even writing down timestamps, so this will be a incredibly fun video to edit, but it is time to hit what we normally hit on Mondays, and that is the box office numbers. And holy crap, Insidious with the upset, not really a unexpected upset, but still to actually see it on paper or on screen. Insidious coming in number 1, 32.6 million, highly respectable for a horror film, but beating out Indiana Jones on its second weekend, which only brought in 26.5 million. However, I will say this, that's actually a really good drop for Indy. 56% is way better than the average these days for big tentpole movies, which have been hitting that mid-60s range for us. Second week drops.
This is
quite a lot.
This is third week, isn't it?
No, this is Indy's second.
Is it really?
Yes.
Oh.
It's only Indy's second.
Yeah, but I mean, it really didn't make us that much for it to really.
No, but it didn't start out with a banger either. You're absolutely right. But that's why I was given the context of, hey, the 56%, you know, that is better than the average. But you're 100% right. It didn't start off too well. Sound of Freedom in number 3, Elemental number 4, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse in number 5. Way down at number 12, dropping from number 8 last week, is The Flash, which does look like it is going to lose a lot of money if production budgets are to be if production budget rumors are to be believed. This film cost over $300 million just on production. That's before getting into everything else that goes with it. So when we talk about how you take whatever the production thing is, double it, and that's where you break even, that's just like a real nice little guideline. This movie's losing a lot of money. And on top of that, Indiana Jones also had a rumored high budget, and so far right now it's sitting at 247 worldwide. The Flash at 261. Manny, what do you think about the weekend box office, especially Insidious doing so well? Did you see it?
I did not actually. I forgot that it was even out this weekend. I told you, man. I have my schedule is gonna be so nuts the next
Yeah.
4 weeks that this weekend, because I mean I had a like a work event, which is a work event. One of our coworkers is getting married, and it was a big event that I just didn't even flinch at not going to, because I wanted some quiet time this weekend. But I am disappointed I haven't seen it. I'll probably see it tonight. The only thing that really surprises me here are 2 things. One is the continual dominance of horror at the box office that we've seen since, I'd say, middle of last year. And also, I guess it's 3 things. The other thing is Joyride bombed hard. I expected that to do a little bit better, kind of as a summer raunchy comedy, but geez, for it to only come in at like, you know, almost under 6 million, that was kind of a big surprise for me. And then also, I know that there was a lot of little controversy here and there with that film Sound of Freedom, which is very tailored for a specific kind of people. Let's just put it that way. And
the way I hear, yeah. I have not seen it, so
I haven't seen it either. I probably won't, just because I don't really care.
Not my type of film.
Right. So, but there's an audience for it. That's kind of my point of it, and a lot of times, you know, that audience is very, very much neglected. So it's interesting to see it to do so well, which is fine. And I think my biggest thing, and it's something that I kind of wish we got to talk about last week, and is Jesus. I understand there's the need to make money for movies, and that a lot of studios had a lot of things already in the back burner because of COVID and things like that.
Right.
They needed to do a better job at spreading things out a little bit.
Oh man, this summer's packed.
Yeah, unnecessarily packed.
Tell me why this past weekend you had nothing really new.
Right.
You know, nothing really. And I know I'm saying that with Insidious sitting there with like I said, a very respectable take for a horror movie even before pandemics. Like, this is not too shabby. Well, I did think they used to push about 40 to 50, but I don't have the time to go back and verify, but still it's respectable now. That's the point. A horror movie made more in its first weekend than a Indiana Jones film did in its second. That's ridiculous.
Very, very telling.
Yeah, exactly. It's still not it's not what you think of as a summer weekend movie,
right?
Like, you know, the blockbuster type deal. But this upcoming weekend, we have Oppenheimer and Barbie. Or no. This weekend's Mission Impossible. Then the next week is Why couldn't Barbie have fit in this weekend?
Right. Barbie would have done. You could have had the entire spotlight this weekend, or Oppenheimer, whichever one of the two.
Yeah, that one as well.
And because what was Barbie's biggest gripe is that they couldn't secure premium screens.
Yeah,
you could have got all the premium screens you wanted this weekend.
And then they would have had to give them up to Mission, which would have had to give them up to Oppenheimer.
Regardless of what's going to happen.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Exactly. This way Barbie could have gotten more. So yeah, you look at a lot of things. There's been several animated films that have struggled to share audiences. I know the boys over at Breaking Geek Radio talked a bit about that this week or last week. I can't recall. I edited 2 videos relatively close together for them because of the AX trip. But yeah, it has been kind of like a cramped, both a cramped and stupidly uncramped summer.
Yeah, it's very unnecessary the way they did things. So, I mean, just yeah, that's really what my annoyance with it is, that now the year started off really well because you had blockbusters kind of staggered a little bit. You're giving them 2-3 weeks, and then you were like, oh, this is coming up, oh, this is coming up, this is coming up. And now I think you're to the point where you've fatigued people a little bit, and and so like now it's like you're not as excited for like a Mission Impossible. Now it's like, all right, we gotta go watch Mission Impossible. I don't care. I'm watching it all. I'm watching them all, but it's just it's kind of for just regular audiences that don't go to the theater that much. It's kind of telling. And I mean, hell, DreamWorks made a movie that nobody ever heard about. With the Teenage Kraken.
Yeah.
And I'm very surprised that Joyride did as bad as it did. I thought at least we would have been at 15. That's crazy.
Whole 5.
I will say that something that's kind of fun though is that Elemental, because it was released on such a Elemental would have been a great movie to release this past weekend. It's chugging along fine, but
251 million worldwide.
Yeah, but because of the fact that they released it when they did, it was such a dumb move to release it that weekend because it's a great film. They're sitting where they are. They did that really to themselves as far as people were like, oh, Pixar's losing its charm. It's like, no, this was just placed ridiculously wrong.
I don't know, man. Sure, placement played a fact, but I think a lot of people have really soured on Disney's animation offerings recently. It's not just Pixar either. Disney Animation Studios themselves with Strange World, and I mean, what was the last big thing they had was the last Frozen sequel,
Frozen
right?
2, yeah.
Yeah, so, and that was 2019 if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it?
Yep,
Something like that.
Dude, if it's not a franchise nowadays, nobody cares.
Yeah.
And it's a terrible thing. But
well,
yeah, and then I know we didn't get to talk about it, but Indy was so mid, dude. Just there was not like honestly. I mean, my daughter and I watched it. We watched it in 40x because we thought it'd be fun that way because of all of the action and everything, and it was.
Mm-hmm.
But if it wasn't for that, getting to the middle of the film and everything to where it started feeling like Indy, like we were like, oh man, this movie still has probably another hour to go. None of the supporting characters, we could care less for any of them. And one of the guys who plays the bad guy, I don't remember his name off the top of my head, but he has the range of a potato. What's his name? Right now.
I'm sitting here wondering what the hell Kathleen Kennedy's legacy on Lucasfilm will be.
That's a good point.
I get that. I get that the sequel trilogy overall was profitable. I completely understand that. I also understand Rogue One was profitable. However, I also know that toy sales are not what they used to be. I also know, and that's through the sequel trilogy, not just now in the post-pandemic inflation, high inflation era we are in right now. But toys have not been the best. I know that the books, comics, all of that have not been the greatest. Willow canceled, and Indy 5 looks like meh. And for all of the love that some of the Disney Plus Star Wars stuff has gotten, and some of that love is from me as well, for Mando's season 1 and 2, plus a couple of Boba Fett episodes and Visions. Did I miss anything? Oh, Andor. God, that was so good. So good. But it's hard to even think of that as a Kathleen Kennedy thing because it was good. Yeah, man, when you look at it, what is her actual legacy? A divided fandom, a hated third part of a mediocre trilogy, and a few decent seasons of some shows, and then everything else has just either been highly divisive or universally despised, hated. Like, what is her legacy? It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. It really is, man. I swear to God, she's like that. Just give me one more chance. Just give me one more chance. And when they said no, because she is Kathleen freaking Kennedy and she's been in Hollywood forever, she went, "Oh no, well, Bob, how about that one time in Austin, Texas, with that okay, Kathleen, you got it." Like, I don't understand why Iger and Chapek kept her on. I really don't. Even from a purely management standpoint, look at how many projects she has let be announced or even announced herself and then had canceled, fallen apart. How many directors has she lost? Issues with writers and producers. This lady might be one of the movers and shakers in Hollywood, but she is an awful manager for this level. Like this, she might be one of the best producers there's ever been, but this doing what she's doing right now, the head of this studio's having that type of creative control input and all of that, she's done a relatively awful job, and I just don't get it.
I mean, I could probably give her 65% of the blame, but also there's the other part of it where a lot of the Star Wars stuff I feel like was ruined by Disney Plus.
Iger, well, I was going to say when Iger said we want one movie a year no matter what, and pushed the trilogy too fast.
That too.
Dude, yeah, that's why when people were like, "Oh, Iger's coming back," I was like, no. He's a huge reason why Star Wars sucks right now too. And then Chapek with Disney Plus.
It's that whole greed thing of needing to make money off of it, which I get. You need to make money off of it, but you got to do it the right way, or else you're left with an empty battle cruiser hotel. You're left with people really souring on Star Wars in general.
Yeah,
I mean, you're left,
and you're betting it all on Rey one more time.
You're left with nothing as far as going forward, because I thought that's what we were doing. We're supposed to be going forward. We're not supposed to be the Skywalker saga was supposed to be over, and that is far from what we're gonna get now. If anything, the lasting impression is the fact that Dave Filoni and what he did with Clone Wars had enough of a fan base and support and love by enough people where you're going to be able to pull from that pool of characters and stories and do that to live action. The books that they should have done from the beginning are the things that they're barely starting to scratch the surface on now, because they thought that they had to have Skywalker, they had to have the same old tropes. I mean, hell, their first film was exactly like A New Hope. It was literally A New Hope, just with different characters. So I mean, it's cheers to them for really ruining Star Wars, because that's what they've done. There've been some bright spots, but Jesus, that last season of Mando. I mean, God. just that, yeah.
Oh God,
atrocious.
I hated it.
Yeah, so it's a real shame, because you can see it with your own eyes that it's just trying to fill Disney Plus and trying to make these politically correct moves to do woke wars, and what do you get for it? You get a franchise that is limping every time they do like celebrations. Now what do? They spend 85% of the time talking about the old movies.
Yeah.
And I mean, and then fans just
nostalgia is a hell of a drug.
Eat it up. That's and it's so it makes me roll my eyes. But I mean, Marvel right now is in the completely the same boat. They, to this point, they haven't established necessarily any
Oh, dude.
then the next Avengers.
Speaking of Marvel and nostalgia being a hell of a drug, Jennifer Garner returning
Yeah,
as
I don't.
Elektra for Deadpool 3. I one people keep bringing up it's Deadpool. Look what they did with X-Force. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I've actually theorized Deadpool 3 might be Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe.
Which would be nice.
Or
But
Marvel Universes, so to speak. So I do think that that's a possibility. But here's my problem. It's, again, Manny, we've already seen the cameo things with properties that we used to say give the rights back to Marvel for. We've already seen it in Multiverse of Madness. We saw it in No Way Home, and here comes again. Why am I acting so angry? It's frustrating because it's we can never move forward. I was talking about this with the crew over on AVR on a live stream last night. I think it was last night or night before. We were discussing how many video games are getting remade that aren't even 10 years old, or might be 10 to 15. No, we're remaking things, rebooting things, and I'm not talking like just an HD remaster. I'm talking full, remakes. We're getting these for things that are not even old enough to drink. You know what I'm saying? They're not old enough to vote. They're not old enough to drink. Like they're no. Why are they getting remade? And then, like I said, Marvel's already done so many of these little cameo things in which they killed a lot of cameo things, including a Foxman, as we jokingly call it online. I don't want it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like if Deadpool 3 came out before Multiverse of Madness, sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But now, after all of and then you're still looking at where is this multiverse thing going? And we still have nothing heading deep into phase 5. Loki season 2 better be a freaking banger, but I'll be honest, I don't know if I'll watch it. I still have not watched an episode of Secret Invasion. So, what do you think about
Secret Invasion's fun. I like Secret Invasion.
Good. I'm glad. I hope it's well. I don't care.
But it's like I've told everyone, Secret Invasion is fun. The first few episodes, will they be able to stick the landing?
Yeah,
that's the important thing.
This week makes episode 4 or 5.
This week would be 4.
Okay. So here's where it could fall apart.
Yeah, because that's where it can all fall apart. That's where you got to be careful, because they've done a good job. A lot of these shows. Miss Marvel's one of them. She-Hulk, I thought was okay. It wasn't great, but it was
for an episode
okay.
and a half.
And I feel the same way about Falcon Winter Soldier, which overall I did enjoy a little bit more, but it got super preachy near the end. They didn't even let they didn't even let Sam have his kind of Captain America moment. I felt it was so much more about redeeming the bad guy that I kind of lost interest a bit because it got really preachy. And now here we are with Secret Invasion, which can be very complicated to tell, but they've done a good job at really focusing the attention on Sam Jackson's character. But we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes, because they've done this to us before, and we'll see if what happens. Although I will say that I won't say what it is, but I think a couple of the things that they're trying to be all sneaky about, they've already unfortunately revealed in the Miss Marvel's trailer, which was unfortunately pointed out to me by CBR, and I couldn't help but read what it was.
I have no idea because and I'm not trying to be mean about it. It is sad. I miss caring about Marvel. I miss being excited for it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it's like, yeah, we don't want to talk bad about these shows.
yeah,
or nothing, but just,
I
it
don't
is what
want
it
to.
is.
I don't want to shit on this. I really don't. I have so many fond memories in theaters with that. You know,
it just feels like I'm never going to get another Avengers Assemble moment in theaters.
Dude, I don't even know if we'll get another Thor arriving to Wakanda moment. Like that moment was badass too, man. God, I love that. That moment's so cool. Bring me Thanos. Oh, dude, the MCU was freaking phenomenal.
And then
I'll always appreciate the Infinity Saga.
Because I'll be honest, like I never really even cared for Thor that much, but then his redemption arc afterwards, and then to let Taika just like completely trash it again,
over it
was ridiculous, man. And so I don't know what's going on I don't know what's going on with the quality control, but it's not it, man. And I don't know, we'll see. As far as like what's coming forward, I'll be honest, out of the three, if you're giving me one movie to watch out of the next three quote unquote blockbusters, it's Oppenheimer. That's the one I care about. And I have mixed feelings about Christopher Nolan because he made the best Batman movie in my opinion with The Dark Knight, but then he has some like things that I just don't like, the Inception and Tenet stuff. Like he can keep that.
I like Inception well enough. I haven't seen Tenet yet.
Tenet's stupid.
The Prestige is my favorite of his
films. You know
films.
what? The Prestige, I forgot he did that one. I love The Prestige. That's really good.
That's my favorite of his.
But like Mission Impossible feels like it's going to be like every other Mission Impossible, which I guess if it's not, then it's not really Mission Impossible, right? And then Barbie, I've heard a lot of good things about. I'm just afraid it might get annoying after half the movie. You know what, dude? Kind of understand what I'm saying?
It could be. Be careful. We'll get. I don't know what other lists Barbie fans have, but they'll find one specifically for us.
Oh, I really don't care. It's not like they go watch any other movies anyway. But yeah, just I'm gonna watch all three. And I need to go watch Insidious. I forgot that came out, but this weekend was different for me, I guess. But yeah, because now it's all about getting ready for San Diego, which we should probably talk about tomorrow or the next day because weird things are happening.
Yeah, well, we definitely are keeping our eyes on the convention world. One, as fans. Two, as like it's guys, conventions are gonna go for a shakeup, man. It might come where Anime Expo is the biggest convention of them all, as you might see things like San Diego and New York and others kind of shrink down back to their pre-MCU days. The question is, Manny, does Anime Expo or other anime conventions follow the same path of a huge influx because of Crunchyroll and others getting so heavily involved, big studios here in the West, and then have a fall down? I don't know. We'll talk about it next time on the day.
Yeah, pretty interesting conversation because a lot of these companies aren't American.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how it goes. You guys definitely keep your eyes on lrmonline.com for written news, including stuff on conventions, as well as all of the podcasts to get write-ups, putting more of our reactions up here, the vlog, as well as the celebrity interviews from LRM's YouTube channel. Subscribe here on the Genreverse if you're watching us for all of that great content. I was talking about the podcast, anime reactions, trailer reactions, and more. And if it's not a reaction video, it's up in audio format on all your favorite podcast apps like Spotify, for example. Check out Breaking Geek Radio's Nimona review. They seem to really enjoy that movie. It's an animated film on Netflix, and Annie and I are both big supporters of animation. So, yeah, what do you got on this Monday morning, Manny?
If you're on a boat and it's moving, don't dive off. It's a thing called physics, and you probably die. It's a TikTok trend that is the stupidest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, let's not do that, guys. Have a good one.